Hello everybody, PSW60 here, and we're back for more of the hunt with Turok, Dinosaur Hunter. Left off here last time, heading into the jungle. So let's get to it. I'd like to think that they were going to continue that, and as each level number went up there would be an extra monkey at the beginning, but it doesn't seem to be the case. In later levels at least. Anyway, the jungle. We're introduced to some new concepts like terrain that remorphs as we approach it, and other new concepts such as very quickly respawning enemies. Turok's difficulty comes in a couple of different varieties as we move up in levels. For starters, enemies start to respawn extremely fast, which means there's a potential to get overwhelmed. But possibly more importantly than that, there's also the potential to just run out of ammo from fighting them. So you've got to keep on the move for both reasons. Because the last thing you're going to want to do is get stuck fighting, well, these little guys aren't so bad, but anything bigger, a Perlin, a Raptor, one of the sergeants, you don't want to go against one of them with just your knife. The game also starts throwing surprise pits at you at this point. But we're going to start by taking a detour through this portal. Well, not this portal. That portal. We've already got our first sub-area. Which is... inviting, to say the least. And you'll notice we didn't pick that up. It looked gold, but it was just the way the light was reflecting off it. That's actually a full health. So we're not going to be able to pick that up unless we're under 100 health. And I want to see the second one of these sub-areas, so we're just going to intentionally damage ourselves a little bit. And have a net loss for health. Level 2 is also where the game starts to backtrack in on itself. Now, we're up here on this somewhat higher ledge.
I am Turok.
And you'll recognize right where we were at. There is one major downside to death in Turok. And it's not just, well, we'd die, so we'd have to restart the level or head back to whatever checkpoint we were at. It is that we'll lose that backpack. And when we lose that backpack, all of this tasty ammo that we have, all of our tech arrows, all of our explosive shells, all of our 200 bullet limits get cut in half. And it's not like we'll still have those extra 27 bullets that we've got there. It just cuts whatever ammo we've got in half. So we lose whatever ammo we've come up against. And we really don't want that to happen. That's just going to make the game even harder. Which is all the more reason to keep moving. Because we got to keep this looking clean and professional. Thankfully, they did fix the ammo system in later games and gave you the ability to swap back and forth between explosive shells and non-explosive shells, tech arrows and regular arrows. So if you don't want to waste an explosive shotgun shell, you don't have to. No, we could go up here. But we've got a key up there. And as you remember, keys were pretty much our only goal for these games. Or at least for this first game. So we're going to take a swim, do a little bit of spelunking, and go through a little bit of expanding our beetle collection. We can catch them with our face. Oh. Little too slow on that one. There's others. Now, we've also only got 3 keys to find on this level. Let's see here. I'll give a short demonstration of why you don't really want to do this. Especially not with the raptor. Raptors take a lot of hits. And apparently quickly bring back up. So if you don't have to hunt raptors with a knife, don't. You'll notice there's a cave back there. This one doesn't go too far back, but we're going to want to pick up all the ammo we can get. Especially since this thing shoots out 3 bullets every time you pull the trigger. It can run out a lot faster than you'd expect. If you can keep your ammo count high, it's a habit that you want to start getting into early on. Later levels are going to force you to go very far out of your way to pick up some of the higher quality of ammunition, tech arrows, explosive shells, high ordnance, stuff like that. And you never know when something big is going to pop up or spawn in on top of you. So just try to keep some ammo on hand if possible, especially some high ornate stuff. Yeah, let's just keep going for now. We will eventually get our own grenades. If you're playing on normal, you can pick up grenades from those guys. They will drop them. But you can't use them on your own. There is a grenade launcher that you will find later. But you can't just toss grenades on your own. Eee. It's not a blatant trap or anything. If you didn't see it coming, it definitely would have caught you off guard, at which point you'd be stuck in between two Perlin, and you would be a very unhappy person. Ooh. Let's see if we can make it back up there in time. No! One thing that I haven't pointed out is the dynamic music for Turok is very nice. When you pop into a cave system, it takes the more tribal jungle rhythm into something that's a little more, I'll say a little more dank. The caves theme just sounds a little bit wetter. It has that slight dripping water effect. It has the ability to get lost in hallways that only go in one direction. It has the ability to make you go through very brief, not so complex caving systems, all for a small amount of health and a weapon we already had. So, thank you, Turok. Now let's go the actual way. We're gonna have people dropping in all over the place. Along with a few more reasons for why the dinosaurs went extinct. Now, if this is your first time through and you're not looking up, hopefully you'll have your map on. Because this platform looks mighty suspicious. And if you do a little bit of exploring, as this game encourages, you're going to find this very large, climbable wall. Which takes you up here to one of the games... I won't say this is a more well-hidden secret area, but... it's definitely better hidden than some of the stuff in the first level. We step on that floor plate. This lowers. And we get taken to a very rare and dear friend. Who's going to make this area so much easier. Let's see what tech arrows do on the slowdown. You can actually watch them. Oh boy. Watch them fly a little bit. Now, note the palm trees. You don't much have another way to get except to go down, so we're going to try to land on them. We can see that slight ruins area from where we're at, so we're going to try to land on that. And there we've got our next Chronoceptor piece. Now we can continue on. That doesn't look like a trap either. As I was saying in the first level, the fireballs aren't particularly hard to dodge. You just have to actually be paying attention enough to dodge them. And we're going to take all the health we can get. Even if it's just a whopping 10. We're down a lot lower than we've been before, and we've got that strange glitch of sped up enemies as a result of picking up the spiritual invincibility. So we are going to have to play a little bit more conservatively. These cave systems can get quite complex at times. And there is... I'm not sure if it's a glitch or if it's just collision detection, or maybe I'm just really bad at jumping. But instances like that where you would land, just in case you've died, there's a spare backpack. In addition to a much appreciated full health. Ah! And here we have the second of the two sub-areas. Anyhow, the glitch that I was mentioning before, those logs that you land on after that log and jump, there's been a couple of times where I've landed on them in the practice runs where I've just gone straight through them. I don't know if that's collision detection, I don't know if I just barely miscalculated the jump, but it feels like I've gone straight through them. But let's introduce the new mechanic for this sub-area. These act a lot like the hook things from the first one, except they don't damage you. Instead, if you get hit by them, you're just sent flying, and you gotta do the first part over again up until you were knocked off. Not really a terrible thing per se, but well, I'd rather lose 10 health personally than lose time. It also unfortunately means that if this is the first one you get, and you're not damaged enough to be able to pick up that 25 health, you're gonna have to redo this one. Because there's nothing in here that can damage you low enough, or damage you at all for that matter, to let you pick up that 25 health. Full on shotgun ammo too. Going into those can get you turned around slightly. Kind of like that. Now, since we'd gone through the portal, thankfully that speed glitch is now corrected. And we don't have to contend with raptors coming after us at double speed. Though we do have to contend with a lot of raptors. A lot of raptors. A lot of raptors. Let's take a break from these raptors and go pick up our second key. But there we have it. And there we have a nice little tease. Not sure if we can make this, so we're gonna do a strafe jump. It's a concept that existed in a lot of older FPS games. Turok has it. I'm not 100% sure when they stopped doing it. It was a sergeant, I believe. But the concept is just that you have momentum that goes forward and extra momentum that goes sideways. If you hit both of them, you do get the momentum of going forward and sideways at the same time. So you can extend your jump height, or jump distance rather, by a brief amount. By just gaining the forward and the sideways momentum at the same time. But on that unhealthy note, we're going to take a bit of a break. And we're going to continue the hunt here next time.